So I felt really put out there. I thought I should get something for, ruining my dinner. But there you go.
Yeah. Are you somebody famous? Yeah. Anyway, come on in, folks. We see you out there. I'm just changing my Facebook before I forget again. Facebook's live, StreamYard's live. We're all here.
We're all here.
How's your cold, Russ? Is it all right?
Even if we are hacking along.
But better, thanks. Yes.
Good.
Feel a lot
good.
better.
Folks,
Bloody
this is
airplane colds.
Yeah.
Well,
you spend 2 weeks in a hot tub, you're bound to catch something, right?
Yeah, you're always going to get something, aren't you? Make sure those hot tubs have got the right chemicals in, boys and girls.
Oh,
cold you can chase off in a couple days. Yeah. It's better than there was a couple down in Mexico that were in a hot tub. They electrocuted themselves. They think it was the faulty wiring in the hotel.
Oh,
the woman got out. They were able to resuscitate her, but the husband didn't make it.
Yeah, right.
And
okay.
The wife's there looking at the husband as he's shaking and quivering, and then she starts feeling the electricity, and somebody grabs him and pulls him out.
Oh,
wow.
Awful.
Yeah. And they were on vacation. Folks, this is Comics by Night for the 21st of June. We're going to take a look.
Nice, bright.
There we are. Yes, nice, bright message. The hot tubs, of death.
Death.
Could be worse, I guess. We are looking at the legacy of Jack Kirby, folks. The Marvel legacy of Jack Kirby.
I missed out last week because I was on holiday, but apparently it was only 3 minutes long, so I get to see it anyway.
You missed out the last couple of episodes, I think.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Sorry, I'm on Gozo time.
GoPro.
I'm on Malta time. I can't think straight.
There we are.
You're an internationalist.
Yeah, check me out.
Exactly.
It's about the size of it.
Here's the opening, folks. Here we go.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Comics by Night, folks. Thanks for popping by. The chat is open. We are live, and we will be on for longer than 3 minutes. So it'll be good. Last week, we had a little bit of cable problems. Glenn didn't have a good back, and we just decided to cut it short, and then my cable went out again right afterwards. So
we've just folded space. This is actually last week's.
This last week.
We lost a week.
That's so
I have a better
Kirby.
cable company. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're glad you're here, though, and no matter when you listen to us. And like I said, we appreciate you stopping by. We're going to look at a great book. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my work over at arrowcomics.store. Arrowcomics.store. There'll be a campaign or two coming up this year, and fundmycomic.com that you'll hear more about if you keep watching this program. And the Atlantean one is in production, so took a little while to get that script done, but or the plot, I should say. But it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And again, we're glad you're here. We just finished the campaign for the Shadow Kingdom. It's being fulfilled, I would imagine, as of today, because the cartons of books over at our fulfillment center are supposed to have been there yesterday. So can't wait to get a copy of that in my hands. Really. It's going to be fun. And again, folks, you can see my stuff over at arrowcomics.store. You can find all sorts of comics that I've written. I've written comics since the mid-'80s and drawn comics since the mid-'80s. And just love this business. Love this art form. So that's why we do. I'm up at 5 a.m. and Glenn and Russ are interrupting their morning so that we can look at some great, great stuff. So also with me today is Mr. Glenn Fleming. Glenn, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name's Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher. if you go along to Fund My Comic, you'll be able to get a copy of this Hatch annotated book, which contains lots of information and unpublished artwork about my character Hatch, how he came to be and where he's going and what he's getting up to. Soon, hopefully, I'm going to get this together, and this will be on Arrow Comics as well. That'll be coming out soon. If you go to Amazon and New Haven Publishing, you can pick up a copy of my book about Jack Kirby, about my visit to see this great man that we're talking about today, and his lovely wife. And occasionally, you'll be able to pick up a copy of Comics Unlimited, which is my 100-page magazine about comics, surprisingly enough. So check it out. Otherwise, just Google my name and something will be there. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the usual places.
Should be in production for another issue of Comics Unlimited, right?
Just started, yeah. Just get the Tony's had a few personal things going on, so we're just a bit late with that one. But then again, we're not late because it has no regular publication date.
Comes out whenever it's done.
It used to be bi-monthly, but it's life happens, doesn't it?
Bi-monthly went bye-bye.
Yeah.
Also joining us this morning, Mr. Russ Leach. Russ, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Russ Leach. I'm a comic book artist in the UK, formerly of note on Batman, Doctor Who, Ben 10 and other Marvel creations. More importantly, on my own creation, Only Death Can Save Us. And now, even more importantly, following in the footsteps of Robert E. Howard with Arrow Comics and Randy Zimmerman. As Randy suggested, this is now going out to our American backers. It's already been out to our European and our UK backers. And we're going to be producing even more Cull stories with the Atlantean magazine. That's going to be starting right now. I have stuff on the board right now for that. So you can find out all about that and all about the other work. You can go find links to Only Death Can Save Us, about all the great versions of this, because we've got an artisan version, oversized artisan version, black and white versions, retail versions coming out. Also one in Brazil, with Red Dragon publisher, who we're supposed to be speaking to later tonight. I'll drop links for that. You can find out all about that kind of stuff by signing up to my email list over at russleach.com. Go check it out there. That's my website, russleach.com. You can see lots of artwork and bits and pieces. Get all the connections to my social medias, and most importantly, sign up for that email list. There you go, russleach.com. Thank you.
And we're being interviewed by Red Dragon at 10 p.m. my time, isn't it?
10 p.m. There you go. Yeah.
Yep. All right. That's what.
What's that, 3 o'clock for you, Russ?
10? No.
Early
I
in the
don't
morning.
think it's 10 p.m. No.
Okay.
I think it's more like 5 or 6 p.m. your time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, let me know.
They haven't got in contact with me yet. They said they would, but I'll get it over to you as soon as I get it.
Yeah. When you do, let me know.
Yeah. when I know, you'll know.
Might be a good idea.
Yeah. This great book comes in a slipcase. We've been looking at it for the last couple of weeks. We've gotten as far as the Hulk and Thor, and there's so much more to look at, folks. What a great career. And this is just the Marvel side of it as well. So a little bit of return at the top. Whoop. Don't like it falling over. Let's see, we're only maybe halfway through the book. Hopefully we'll get a little farther today. Went through the Fantastic Four yesterday. Thor battles the Hulk.
Don't you just love Chick Stone's inking?
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it?
You got that classic Thor pose here.
He knows where to put a thick line.
He does,
he does.
Fantastic.
Tales from Asgard. Then on the other hand, there's Vinny. So hey.
I thought Vinny's style on Thor was pretty good. It's just the story behind it that's not good. But he's when he, I think it's clear that he was inking probably the main characters, and background people were doing the other. But I just think that nice European line. I wonder if that's what Lee was thinking when he saw it, to try and give it that kind of Nordic feel. I don't know. But I'd still rather see it inked by Joe Sinnott.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Everything could be inked by Joe Sinnott.
Yeah.
A combination of Joe Sinnott and Alcala and
Buscema.
Dzunga, Buscema and Chan and everyone else. Oh, maybe obviously Inca on Avengers.
Palmer.
Yeah. Everybody else can go away.
Yeah.
Just those
What
like
about
6 or
Roy?
7 Incas. Everybody else go there. There's 6 or 7 Incas, and I'd be happy.
What about Ryan and Ramita and Wally Wood?
No, Ramita. Just let Ramita pencil him. Just pencil.
Yeah.
Let the others do the inking.
Yeah.
So John Ramita rings you up and says, "Oh, by the way, I want to ink your comics," and you say, "No."
Well, of course I would. Could you imagine how much money I'd make?
Be expensive though. Just digging
It
him
would
up.
be, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that drawing there, that horse on that Heimdall page. Isn't that wonderful?
Think of the charges.
Just
Yeah.
love it. Look at and the way that one where what's his name's being taken away.
Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like just the way that the body, the expression of the limbs and everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's like the page 10 years later out of Machine Man, isn't it? When they bring him in.
Oh yeah. Yep. Very much so.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
It's absolutely great stuff, no matter who's inking them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, look.
Is that Bing Fan Boom? That's fast.
Look at that guy's little trunks.
Where?
Well, he's the green guy. He's got trunks on.
Oh, yeah.
Look like he's got a nappy on. Or
Yeah.
Or a diaper to our American friends.
Depends,
Boom, now shite himself.
But look at the way he's lifting Volstagg up. Whoa,
Yeah.
really. It's just
Like a little action figure, little rag doll.
This is comics.
Yeah.
It is.
This in capital letters.
yeah.
With that dynamic hand.
Look at that lovely brushwork on his wing or his fin or whatever it is. That green guy. Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that's Vince Coletta, isn't it? Is it Vince Coletta?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
It is, yeah. That's like I said. I think Vinny was inking the main characters, the main parts, and I think he had a studio to do the backgrounds.
Oh,
That's my opinion. I don't know whether that's true or not.
Those are some mighty well inked rocks back behind him, though.
Yeah. He's solid, isn't he? That guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. It's almost a shame to put word balloons on, isn't it? To sort of just print it without the words on. We'll work it out.
Especially Lee and his, verbose verbiage here.
Yeah. Be interesting to see the original artwork of that, to see just what Jack was saying and how Stanley changed it.
HR's in the house with a group of icons. Glad you're here, HR. Thanks for stopping by.
But it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yes. Wonderful. Great stuff.
Well,
Definitely, Vinny. It threw a little drop shadow back here on this.
yeah,
Try to make it look dimensional.
that's been done in the production, hasn't it?
Bloody graphic designers.
Yeah, I know.
Of the book, yeah. Trying to be fancy.
I remember getting that's Tales of Asgard splash page, the one on the ship. I remember getting that and thinking, why isn't the Tales of Asgard the main storyline? Because it was far more interesting, those little 5-page fillers. I say filler, 5-page backup stories, let's call it, than a lot of the main stuff, until he hit Tarn Nile and all that colonizer stuff, Galactus and all that. Because he went science fiction, didn't he, Thor? The late 60s. He was obviously a Norse god to start with, fighting the Cobra and other silly comic-y characters. And then he hit the science fiction groove, didn't he? And it really took off for me.
Yeah, the Grey Gargoyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
The
that
lava men.
concept of him being only really being a god because he was from another planet or another
Yeah.
system, as it were. So it was that quote by Arthur C. Clarke: any advanced technology that's so advanced, I'm obviously paraphrasing, that you can't understand it, would appear to be magic.
Right.
Yes.
It's kind of like that. It's that concept, isn't it? Thor appears to be godlike and a magic, but actually all it is just they're an advanced race. They're an advanced alien race. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, magic is all around us, really, isn't it? I mean, imagine 100 years ago talking to people online. So that's magic.
Oh
isn't
no, exactly. Yeah. They would look at that as we'd all be burnt as witches.
it? Yeah.
Oh,
With
yeah.
charred embers in the corner.
Yeah.
Look at him smelting his hammer. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. In my hand, this hammer.
Could have a good smelt.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Thor and Hercules clashing was a bit like
Cool.
Thor and Hulk, wasn't it? It happened on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
But it's more in keeping with the god thing, isn't it? To have him fighting
Yeah.
Hercules and the Hulk.
Yeah.
Because I think those comparisons are silly. It's like when you get Superman. I mean, he shouldn't be in the Justice League of America. He's a god, isn't he? Superman. He's too powerful, I think.
Yeah, well, they made him too powerful, didn't they?
Yeah.
But even with Hulk, I mean, they did that with Hulk, didn't they? Sort of like Planet Smasher Hulk, and Hulk lives forever and becomes the other. Can't remember the name of it, but it kind of takes away. I mean, that core aspect of the Hulk was very much a bit like Lon Chaney's werewolf. You felt sorry for the man.
Yes.
There was a beast within, and even the beast within, there was something in there. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was what was special about the Hulk. Is it's like he was this rampaging beast of a thing, but actually he just wanted to be left alone and was actually quite peaceful inside. And sometimes that once they started getting cosmic with him, and once they started making him sort of incredibly overpowered, it lost a lot of its magic, I think. What was great was seeing, back in the day, seeing Thor or Ben Grimm or the Hulk sort of squaring off to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of who's gonna, but Ben Grimm was fighting the Hulk on multiple occasions, and there was no clear outright winner. There was a couple of occasions where the Hulk got the better of him, but he was holding his own. If this is Hulk, the thing that can kill planets, it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense, does it?
I don't see. I never saw Hulk as a planet smasher. I don't think he's that strong.
No,
I know that's what they were saying, but I don't agree with that one.
No, that's why I say I liked it the way it was. He was sort of like, the monster within, and occasionally that monster got out of control. I mean, I'm not just saying when he turned into the Hulk. Occasionally he got so angry that he got himself out of situations.
Yeah.
I really like that. I can't remember the name of it. There was a colour graphic novel in the 80s. It's Oversize, and it's Hulk and the Thing, and they get transported off to this alien
Oh yes,
world.
I remember that. Was that
what's the
John
name of
Byrne?
that one? Yeah, I think so. I've got it up on the bookcase, so I'll get it out later. But that was so much fun.
And we all knew that Ego is.
Yeah, he's even got a moustache.
Yeah. I think it must have gone straight over his head.
Yeah, it must have. Yeah.
I was just trying to find my favorite Defenders cover where he's fighting Thor, and I can't find it right off the bat now. Just to show it off. Anyway. A great crowd fight scene. This guy here.
I don't know whether you noticed this, but around this time, like this people breeders, it was the same time as the Cocoon in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of, and I think it's around this time that Shield introduced the LMD, live model decoy, and it was as if Kirby had read a book about or something about what's the cloning, and developed all these the same story. It's basically the same premise in those issues at the same time. You know, that would be interesting to find out. I never actually. I should have asked him that. I shouldn't have thought of it, but then again, you probably
Found that
remember.
thing. It's called the Big Change, and it's by Jim Starlin and Bernie Wrightson.
All right.
Okay.
Right.
Absolutely. I bought like four at a similar time. Yeah. So I bought the Judgment Day by Stan Lee and John Buscema of Silver Surfer, which is fabulous. Bloody Choices, which is Tom DeFalco and John Buscema, and Death Trap: The Vault, which was 89, which was the Avengers. But I got this one. It was like, there you go. This.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely bloody fabulous.
Yeah.
How gorgeous is that?
Great stuff.
Who's written it, Russ?
It's Jim Starlin.
Jim Starlin's written it, has it?
And it's
right.
and it's art by Bernie Wrightson.
Right.
Absolutely gorgeous. And it's got like this comical end, right? Where they get these wishes, and the Hulk just wants to eat. And the thing is pretty peeved that he's lost all his wishes on a mountain of hamburgers, so he's going to smash him on the head with a big rock. That's a real comical end. Fantastic stuff.
Look at the as a production point of view. Look at the trim on that bottom of that page. It's a bit close, isn't it?
It is a bit, isn't it?
There's a.
Oh, right.
I see.
Oh,
right,
I get
okay.
it. Yeah. I thought that was the cover or something. Got it. Yeah.
It actually looks like a cow print, but it's Kirby Crackle, isn't it?
Rorschach.
It is.
Look at that! Blast!
The power in what it's all gone a bit blurred.
Yeah,
it's well pixelated, but the power in those panels. No.
Oh,
yeah, it's coming.
It's changing now.
It's changing now.
Yeah, I always thought Ulick and Blastar were brothers, and then there's a Calibac and New Gods, so they're all the same guy. So
yeah,
I
looked
reckon
a lot alike. Yeah,
the triplets, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Same mom.
I mean,
they're brothers.
Yeah.
That splash page. Look at it. Just
yeah.
How can you? I mean, I did. You know, as I said, I wasn't that keen on Kirby's style when I was a kid, but it didn't stop me being utterly impressed by just how bombastic everything was. Do you know what I mean? It was comics. It was like, wow, I prefer this person or prefer that art. You know, eventually, like as with all of us, you come to your Kirby moment, and I realised just how genius it was and how beautiful and brilliant it is. Right. But even as a kid, when I didn't have that appreciation, it was still just so energetic and so much fun to have in your hands.
Mm-hmm. I remember picking up his Captain America run in the 70s and being really disgusted at it and not liking it at all. And now it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's great, crazy stuff.
It's because it is true art.
Yeah.
Like I say, the standard of illustration in a few, very few corporate books at the moment is off the scale. It's stellar. It's amazing, but it doesn't pull you in the way that this does.
Yeah,
it's the style. It's everything about it. I mean, even like I was saying, even as a kid, without a sort of a more mature appreciation of the art and not liking the style, still it would make me want the book. It would make me read the book because there's just something magic about it. Mm-hmm. This Kirby stuff is there's a few artists you can say Kirby's stuff is more than just comic book. It's art. It's beautiful.
I'd agree with that. Look at that Wrecker cover. if you imagine the buildings not being there,
Yeah.
and it's just a straight on shot. So what Jack does, he flips it and draws that fantastic perspective on. Do you see what I mean? How he changed it? He's changed the angle of the shot with the background.
Yeah.
Because it would work without those buildings on.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. But there's
Incredible.
so much energy in that and so much movement.
Well, the colorist thought so too. That's why they did the neutral
Yeah.
gray tone back here. Just blend it all, push it back so that you see the focus here.
Great inking by Bill Everett as well on those couple of issues he did.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that.
Everett's another one of those guys that you don't hear a lot about anymore that did phenomenal work.
Yeah.
I love his later run on Submariner. It had all sorts of just fantastic style to it. It's completely different from his Golden Age work. Just beautiful.
Oh, here we go. Look at this.
Here we go. Look at that. See, this is... Sorry, go on, Glenn.
I'm just going to say, look at that blade that Sif's throwing there. That's it.
Yeah.
I was looking at that panel. That panel really sort of it's so descriptive of his middle style of that. Once he got comfortable and he absolutely started to nail the look. It's so slick, just so slick, beautiful. And that's one. I don't know who that is jumping in onto the Rainbow Bridge there, but again,
I think it's the recorder.
Yeah,
right.
Was it one of Town and Niles people?
Oh, and that horse.
Do you know?
It doesn't look like a horse at all, but it's beautiful.
if I could have any cover of Thor by Kirby, it would be that one where that hand is holding him, the Ragnarok one.
All right.
Either that or that epic one with Hercules, where there's no lettering on it. It's just them two.
Yeah.
I think I'd go for that one with the hand there because I think that is amazing. That's just amazing, though. And look at that lovely thick line Vin he's done on the top of that arm, on the claw guys who's holding Thor. Look at that lovely line. You know, it's like you said about Chick Stone. He knows where to put a thick line, which makes it all the more sad that the stories behind the artwork on Thor. If he'd have just sort of got on with it properly, But it is fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
I like the way just before you turn over, look at Heimdall. This blue guy's landing. Heimdall is the guard, isn't he? But he's very aggressive. He doesn't say, "Hi mate, can I help you?" He's going to kill him. He's pulling his sword out already. He wants to fight as well. One thing you notice in Kirby comics, everybody wants to fight.
Everyone wants a Barney. Well, it's kind of like the way. I mean, how many times did you see two superheroes start off their meetings in fighting because they weren't sure, or they thought the other person was a villain, or but they come to an agreement in the end and they become fast friends.
Yeah,
and it's like you don't know anyone truly until you fight them. It's like that piece in the Matrix. You don't really know someone till you fight them. And there's something to be said for that, I have to say, because I fight people all the time at my karate training sessions, and you get to know people. You get to know what they're like. You get to know their reactions and all kinds of stuff while you're fighting them. Do you know what I mean? So there's something to be said for that. A very base instinct of man.
Another side to that would be Mike Tyson saying everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Till they get punched in the face. That's right. Yeah, everyone's got a plan till you get punched in the face. Then it's all over. How gorgeous is this?
That's just
and the absolute genius of making it sort of black and white in the background and colour over the top.
Yeah. Then we have this.
That wonderful look at that. How bloody cosmic is that, eh?
Roz said in their house, if anybody wanted to read the magazine, they have to read it quick. because Jack would be cutting it up, making it into a collage. Look at that! Look at that lovely lettering as well. That's probably Sam Ross and Norad Simek, isn't it? One of them two. They were doing all that
Probably.
stuff.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Of course, that was probably half a page.
Yeah.
In the comic. Yeah.
Yeah. He's sitting in his own little private cosmic cube with his laptop, isn't he?
Yeah.
Galactus.
I like the fact they made his spaceship a cube. He's got that big spaceship, isn't he? That's kind of like a sort of a weird shape, sort of a bent square or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know what you mean.
like a parallelogram, kind of a weird shape. And then he's got this extra bit that he goes out and it's just a cube. Although I can't see how he'd fit in there.
Yeah,
It's going to be really scrunched up.
It looks like he's got a black eye, doesn't he? It looks like he's already been punched.
Oh yeah. Well, no living testicles, however monstrous, can bind to lactus.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Wow.
There should be a Kirby museum with every piece of artwork on the wall, and you can book a hotel room there for the month that you would need.
Yeah, it's going to be a big museum.
Yeah. Look at that. It's fantastic. Great the way he's having a drink of wine, where Loki's having a drink of wine there. It's just great, isn't it?
It's the pose he struck.
Yeah.
Shoulders back and
It's very arrogant, isn't it?
Very much.
His leg seems to have got lost though behind the girl's arm.
Yeah,
There's no detail in there. That's unusual.
Look,
mind you, there probably was.
You're looking at the girl. You're not looking at the leg detail. So and that's true too. There might have been all sorts of muscle definition in here that Coletta just decided wasn't worth inking.
That typical thing there. Just slide back just a second, where she says, "What is it? It's gone blurred now." But know you this: if he be not mine, no other shall have him. What a great line!
Warrior Strike,
Boulder.
Hercules. It's great. And Boulder.
Yeah, that's fantastic, isn't it? Look at that.
It's great stuff. Hercules down here smiling.
He likes drawing those big club type things, doesn't he, with blades coming out of them and all sorts of things. Like that guy in the bottom there with his underpants on. You imagine getting whacked in the face with that, you'd know about it, wouldn't you?
Is that Calabac? No. Who's this guy?
It's Calibac's other brother, isn't it? But he's just a
it is. Yeah.
There's 4 of them now. There's 4 of them. Oh, God.
Classic.
Look at that. Wow. The Destroyer. Look at that. You just want to see the pencils, don't you?
No, yeah. Yep. Or at least a better inker. But anyway.
Like I said, I don't mind it when he does this kind of thing, because those legs are amazing. The muscles on those legs are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just my opinion again. I don't know, but I think he's inked all of that. And then when you get like across sideways, you get the Asgard. He probably hasn't done that.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know. But the one on the next page, inked by John Verporten. I mean, how good was Johnny Verporten? That cover is another classic cover, isn't it?
Sure
it's
is.
fantastic.
Yep.
John Verporten died when he was 37, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just after he finished doing Eternals and stuff like that. Really good artist. Look at that. Tell you what, Odin must spend all his life sort of trying new clothes on because he's never the same, is he?
No.
It's a good job they only had him in a couple of panels, isn't it? Never. Jack could still be doing it today. Mind you, somebody probably rub it out.
That's probably part of the joy, though, of drawing the characters, making him look majestic in different armor all the time.
Well, John Romita said that he had to when the artwork came in for Thor, they had to check those circles on his chest and on his trunks there, because Jack would sometimes draw 4 and sometimes he'd draw 8. But in the next panel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful, isn't it? Could you imagine the enormity of getting these pages in the post and having to change them? You wouldn't want to touch it, would you? You dare?
Well, depending upon who was doing it, I would imagine after a while it'd be a job, just making sure everything was right. And
well, I told you about Sinner.
Back when this stuff was out, they didn't know how important it would be.
No. But I told you that story, Joe Sinner. We used to, when he got Kirby pages through the post, he just used to lose an hour of his day just looking at them.
Yeah.
And he was a consummate professional, wasn't he?
It would still be impressive, though, wouldn't it?
You
still get it. I mean, you might not appreciate the historic significance of what Kirby was doing at the time because you were in it.
Yeah.
So, like you say, Randy, it would have been just a job, but at the same time, there would be you'd still be getting those pages or looking at it and going, "Fucking hell, this is good." Sorry, I just dropped an F. But you'd be going, "God, I mean, this is awesome," and if you're an artist, even if you're doing the job, and so, like you say, you're an inker, and Joe Sinner is incredibly talented, and you're an artist and you're doing your job, and other art comes in for you to embellish or finish or whatever you need to do, you're still going to look at it and go, "Wow, I've got to do something to this." Yeah, quite imposing.
Now for Iron Man. The quick shot of the Avengers here.
Woohoo!
It took me a long time to like Dick Ayers on Kirby.
Okay.
But now he's great. Stuff is great.
I just love the progression you see on Kirby's work.
And then you get Paul Reinman trying to ruin it.
Yeah, I know he hit the ground running. But still, you can see this progression where he slowly gets to this like stylized version of himself, which is what I remember most as a kid. I obviously don't remember the early stuff, and it's
especially when he comes back in the late 70s.
Yeah, and it's so damn impressive. It's just. Oh.
Well, this work here was done. I know this is an Avengers 1 here because Iron Man's in his armor, but that Avengers 1 was done in like a week and a half. I mean, that was a rush job beyond rush jobs.
Wasn't there something to do with a Daredevil wasn't ready or something? So they have to.
That was there's a fantastic blog that Jim Shooter was doing for a while, and he said Avengers 1 would have never have existed if Bill Everett wasn't a raging drunk.
Yeah.
And that print slot was actually meant for Daredevil #1, and they went to they hadn't heard from Bill in a while, and they went to go find him, and they found him drunk in his bathtub.
Yeah.
So
Kirby to the rescue.
Yeah, Lee was panicking. He gets a hold of Kirby, and Kirby goes, "Well, why don't we do what Martin wanted us to do in the first place, and take a bunch of our characters and put them together in a group like the Justice League?"
Yeah.
So that's why Loki's the villain in #1, and then they really stumble around for a couple of issues with goofy villains trying to come up with stories for all these characters. The Phantom. I guess it was just the Phantom who was switching bodies with that. Now I can't remember who was in 3. What villain they used? Probably Hulk and Submariner at that point. Then 4, Captain America comes back. They kept
Was
they were
was
kind
issue
of
3
wandering
was it
around for a little bit.
was issue 3 Magneto?
I'm not sure. I would have to go back and look.
Just slide it over a bit, Randy. That Avengers cover with Cap on. That I think that's Paul Ryan or George Roussos. That's one of. I remember that coming out as well, and I always remember. Oh, I got it a year or so later, probably, but I remember thinking, I wish somebody else had gone. Had inked it. One of the other because I didn't really understand what pencil and inking was, but I knew somebody else was working on top of that. And it's such a fantastic drawing, but it's ruined, I think, by the inking. It's not good inking at all. But it's like you said, it's just a question of getting it out, isn't it? Who's available to get it out?
Yep. At this point, it was.
And also, you've got to remember that Kirby was doing layouts for everything, so he was only giving these people rough layouts of this stuff, and you can tell. Look at that Cap face where he's lying down with the shield on his chest. It's just literally bashed in, isn't it? It's it's bare. The inkers were getting bare layouts at the time because Kirby was doing so much.
Helmets off. Yeah.
Was it the Iron Man mask with the pointy bits? Is that Ditko design?
Yeah.
Because they fumbled around with Iron Man's costume for ages, didn't they?
They rounded off the head pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
After that,
get the right thing.
There's a period there during the early 80s and he had a nose. Remember that?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
It's just crazy stuff. Yep.
Invasion of the Lava Men. That splash page there where they're all walking towards you, similar to that one in Captain America later, isn't it? When they all is it the Super Adaptoid splash page? And then you've got Rick Jones there with his jumper on and his trousers.
Yeah.
What's Rick Jones doing there?
His hands in his pocket. They were worried about the Hulk at the time. Remember, he bounces off at number 2, and then they chase. They're out looking for him there for a little bit, and Rick's with them.
But what? Why Rick? I don't see. I remember Rick Jones from, was it Captain Marvel?
Yeah, Rick Jones is in Hulk 1,
where he used to. He had the bands.
Yeah, the power bands, the nega bands. Yeah,
the nega bands, and then that would make him Captain Marvel, so that either of them would be in the negative zone or whatever when they weren't sort of swapped over.
Right.
I don't know the lore about that at all. I just remember the comic from when I was a kid. And Rick Jones, I know Rick Jones had a thing had a friendship with the Hulk. He could talk to him, but I never understood quite why. So
well, they were buddies back in Hulk 1. Bruce is out chasing after Rick when he gets hit by the bomb.
So he was the one he was out there after Rick.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Now joined with Brian K. Morris. Brian, how you doing, man?
Good morning. How y'all?
Thanks for getting up this early and joining us.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry I'm so incredibly late, but priorities.
You're always welcome whenever you come in. Yeah.
I drink it for your sake, gentlemen, not for my own.
Brian, why don't you take a quick moment and introduce yourself here?
Well, unaccustomed as I am about speaking about myself, I'm an author, publisher, editor. I knew I'd get everybody to spit their coffee out. And former mortician's assistant. I've got a plethora of books out available on Amazon, also on risingtide.pub. And my current one's plural, Randy. This brand new one, The Terrors, based on a Golden Age character, but with a twist that is rather obvious. That's right. He's now in prose. I'm sure that's the only difference there. And also a book that is so new that I don't have a copy of it. It is Conrad von Honig, a sequel to Quest for the Space Gods from Flinch Books, and this is Quest for the Delphi Oculus. It's an international it's a novel of international intrigue. Think James Bond meets The Prisoner. Ooh, There's a high tone reference for you. But anyway, I'm very proud of this book. It's from Flinch Books, available now on Amazon, and I think everyone should own a copy. And thank you all for letting me be on here. I really appreciate it. Always like hanging with you guys.
You're always welcome on whenever.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Whenever you can make it.
Whenever you can drag yourself out of bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm already pushing the Scott Rosemo limit here on attendance. So hey.
There's a rather wonderful credit just there.
I am so incredibly proud of that. I really am, because that's a good looking book. That's a beautiful book.
Oh yeah.
So, seriously,
Brian,
guys, you all should be proud of it. Well, glad to anytime. And yeah, if you don't have a copy of it waiting to whirl its way to your mailbox, you are missing out. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
See how these guys have gained social acceptance because of this wonderful book? And you are that close to it, folks. No more ridicule once you get that book.
It's going to be hitting the mail.
Anything with
today.
your name on it, Brian. Anything.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I'm looking forward to my copy. I really am, because
Randy
I really dug what you guys did.
Yeah, Randy will get you a couple of copies as soon as he gets them sent to him from RJ.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Worth waiting for. Oh, I see some pretty art.
Here we are, Chick Stone inking Masters of Evil, Avengers #6. Well, we had all the heroes get together. Why don't we have a bunch of villains? There we are.
There you go.
I love that costume. Baron Zemo. What a costume that is.
Yeah, it's like you raided Liberace's closet.
Yeah. I mean, it is very camp.
It is.
You gotta love the fur.
Yeah.
My introduction to the character of Zemo was in the cartoons, and I thought that was really cool. He had a curtain, pretty much, or a mask taped or glued to his head that he could never get off.
Talk like that?
Yeah.
I am Baron Zemo. Ah.
A lot of those villains in those cartoons talk like that. Yeah. Levi's in the house. Good morning, and I'm fashionably late, but enjoying the discussion. Here we are. Always welcome in. It says Chris Yambar and I used to joke about doing a comic called Hulk Love Rick, based on those early Hulk issues. It's a great black and white
Hulk
run
had a very tender side to him.
Yeah. Here's the first Kang.
Kang. Look at him. Look at him just laying there on his invisible bed.
Yeah.
It's a bit dodgy, that leg, isn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody peel me a grape, will you?
What did the Wasp ever do?
Stung people.
All right.
Fly around, sting people, talk about her fashions. Yeah.
Collect alimony.
That too.
Yeah, she seems to be the kind of girl who should have gone out to lunch with Sue Richards.
Yeah. Yeah, they did all-female team there for a minute. An issue of Avengers put together by Valkyrie.
Right.
They call it the Incredible Lunches.
Main female characters. No, and they didn't mention lunch once, if I remember the story right. Not once. Called themselves the Liberators.
Brilliant. There's that fantastic spread, isn't there? That Buscema spread, where they're all sitting around the table in the Avengers Mansion. You got all the girls there. What a fantastic image that is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here's some covers.
Wow, look at that. Oh. This is when it gets going, isn't it?
That's that coloring again too, where they leave the little white white shadow here.
Yeah.
Wonder Man. What a naff character.
Yeah. I like the way that Captain America seems to be aware of somebody behind him. he's sort of looking round, isn't he, while the others are pointing at
Yeah.
us. But Cap's aware of something. But it's only the Mole Man.
The Mole Man.
Yeah, so he's greeted with a dramatic, "Oh, it's you."
Yeah, no, don't worry, guys. It's only the Mole Man. He's blind as a bat.
Bolly, 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 bolly. It's a bloody mole.
A mole
Look
through
at
in a window. It is an omen.
Spectacular special issue.
It says there on that Doctor Doom cover, it's Dick Ayers inking. I thought it was Wallywood. Have I got the wrong one? Oh, yeah, the Wallywood one is the one where Cat's been thrown off the building. He's coming towards you, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
did
the
ink one
Wallywood.
issue in there. Over
Yeah.
Don Heck. Oh my God, that was so nice.
Captain America now.
Yeah.
Classic cover.
Smash.
Literally feel the action there with all the broken glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the best part of that series in Tales of Suspense, because it used to start right in the action, didn't it? You never,
Yeah.
Where there was no time, there was not enough pages to develop why he was going to this place. He was always there.
It's just a fun run. Those Tales of Suspense stories.
Comics.
Yeah.
The army of assassins strikes.
Could he spread
I don't know
his
if that-
legs any wider?
I don't know if that needed the double plural there. Did it? The army of assassins strikes.
Strike.
I think it's
But
proper because I think the Assassins is a modifier of Army.
Okay.
Here I go sounding like an editor. Dear God.
Check
There you are.
you out.
That's why I was asking.
That's why we get this guy in. That's why.
That's right. I know when it looks right, but I couldn't tell you if my participle dangled or not.
Chick Stone again. No credit to the colorist.
Yeah. Well, they didn't give colors credit back in the day. I remember reading in one old letter column that they said that because the colorist was so far down in the production line, he's virtually the last person to handle the art,
Yeah.
that they didn't know who it would be. So it wasn't until like the late 70s, I think, that they started crediting colorists.
Yeah.
I mean, like that cover on the left there, the colorist deserves credit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's great. You can understand purely from a very basic perspective, if you're just putting flat colours on and you're not quite sure who's going to do it, why they don't put a credit in. I mean, it's rare you see anybody credited for flats.
True.
Right.
Well, at this point, didn't Marvel only have like a couple of colorists?
Yeah.
I mean, they were
Like
probably
Stan
seen
Goldberg and
almost-
Marie Severin?
Yeah, they were probably
you-
seen almost like designers. Just like they're putting the end touches on the book.
But don't forget, you've just said that they wouldn't, whoever it was, they wouldn't know. And don't forget, all the artwork is complete by the time they get it, so there's no way they can add that.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're putting it on at the start on all the lettering and everything, so they wouldn't
Yeah.
know. And we're talking before. It's hard to remember a time, isn't it? Before you could just scan it in and mess about with it on a computer. This is all done by hand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Even the separations. Yeah.
So it's not like if you were doing that now, you get right to the end and go, "Oh, just somebody put a credit on Willie in Photoshop or in Quark or whatever." You can't do that.
Yeah.
Quark.
Quark, yeah. So showing my age. It's what is it
That
now? Is it
90s.
Adobe,
That's so 90s. Yeah.
Adobe. They've got
Photoshop?
a page creation. Well, no, they've got a page
Clip-
management system, haven't they? Adobe.
Clip Studio.
No.
Illustrator.
It's like Quark.
Oh,
It's obviously
InDesign.
InDesign. That's
Yeah,
it took
that's
over
it.
from Quark. I mean, I remember, Quark was the industry standard when I was
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
designing
Yeah.
in the 90s and early 2000s, and InDesign came along, and everybody's like, no, Quark is it. That's the end of it. No, InDesign is never gonna catch up, and now nobody knows what Quark is.
Yeah.
And InDesign's the only thing, but obviously there's so many other bits and pieces now. I mean, you can quite happily do page makeup in Photoshop now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because text is managed so much better in. I mean, God, when we were doing it, text was so clunky in Photoshop.
Yeah.
Ugh. Look at that! How beautiful is that page? The 9 panels.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the best ever, hasn't it?
Oh yeah.
I love
Fantastic
the
photo.
way that Stanley had a few words, so he got paid.
Yeah, I had to put something
Yeah.
in. Yeah. Sometimes I think, am I overusing the strike lines? And then I look at a page like this and think, there is no overuse of strike lines.
No.
If you're doing it properly.
For me, the best panel of those 9 is the last one where there's no border and Cap is over him.
Yeah.
That's stalking
Yeah.
him, just waiting for him
Yeah,
to do
stalking him,
something
yeah.
to punch him again. You know, it's absolutely incredible. But what a great shot the first panel is.
Oh yeah.
What is he doing? Is he
He's swinging his leg back at you. And you're
about to
on the
kick
floor, but
Yeah.
and he misses. He gets chinned instead.
I was gonna say while he's
Well-
doing all that posturing, Cap smacks him in the
That's
gob.
right.
So
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
If you're gonna swing your leg all the way back there to kick someone, you're gonna get smacked in the gob.
Well, look at you can sort of see Jack's animation coming in, can't you? Because if you look at the second panel where he punches him, and then he smacks him with, you see his shield, and then he smacks him with the shield. You can see the movement,
Yeah.
can't you? It's
Yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
Crack.
And also something I'm noticing here in the force lines in most of the panels, they're not, like you look at something like manga where they have these constant patterns of lines that are supposed to emulate force or movement.
Yeah.
You notice there's gaps in them,
Yeah.
like a little
Yeah.
explosion. Like, it's not like boring. It breaks it up.
Yeah.
And, just
Also,
oh my
the
God.
thicknesses change as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been analysing the force lines for quite a while now,
Cool.
and it
Good deal.
it's a bit of a thing. Do you know when you look at them, you think, how can you use them? How can you work them? And I used to use them. Mine were far too thin, and now I realise you can have thick ones and thin ones. You put gaps in, you make shapes with them.
Right.
And Kirby was the best at it.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Suddenly
have
we're
say,
back to- Go ahead.
Sinnott's use of strike, the way that he actually executed them was just amazing.
Mhm.
The actual execution of the ink on the page, just incredible. No one better, I think.
And it was a steady hand with a brush and a raised ruler too,
I know, just incredible.
going from thin to thick.
I use a raised ruler and I've got a double-ended felt pens that I use specifically. I buy one set of felt pens just to do strike lines with because they give me that thick to thin ratio that I'm after.
Right.
And I don't use them for anything else.
And Steve Rogers is suddenly woken up as the Human Torch.
It's interchangeable with Donald Blake too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only it's a little bit thicker in the muscle here. In the shoulders. Sharon Carter.
Yeah.
It's a menacing
No,
Modoc.
look at what Captain America's got on though. Check
Here.
that out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had one of those on holiday.
Yeah.
Look at that. I wish that was real. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Modok.
Menacing Modok.
Oh,
Yeah.
I am Modok.
I am their master.
Sid Shores enters the arena.
I always like Sid Shores.
Yeah. Have you ever seen his other illustrations? You know, his pencil work. Not superhero.
Yes.
Absolutely
Yes.
outstanding artist.
Really, you're right, Glenn. And he did a few westerns.
I was
towards the
just
end
going
of
to
his
say,
career.
I think we found a Western story or two that he did on his own.
Yeah, I think he did Gunhawks for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and of course he did stuff in the 50s. That's just,
Yeah.
I think it's breathtakingly beautiful. I went back recently and was rereading some of the Westerns, and I'll put up Kirby's Rawhide Kid up against anything he was doing in the superhero line. The storytelling in that is just, it was like that 9-panel grid we saw before. It was really, really cinematic in its execution.
Yeah. Big premiere issue. Classic cover again.
Interesting story about Sid Shores. I've said before, he was in the same. He was in the third Patton's Third Army in the war, and I think he was only a few miles away from where Jack was in his unit.
Oh, wow.
But they didn't know, and they never met while they were in Europe, and they're in the same division, and only a few miles away.
Interesting.
Look at that! Wow, look at that.
Yeah, I just went off to look at a couple of his pages, the comic book pages. Sid Shores, the Westerner. Yeah, fantastic stuff.
Oh yeah,
Really
look at that.
nicely done. I mean, shades of Buscema in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And he says, "It can't be. You're me."
I say that every morning when I shave. Yeah.
Yeah, I look in the mirror and go, God damn.
Yeah.
Look at that fantastic perspective on that drawing on the splash page
On
next.
that boot.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Jack's version of Keep on Trucking.
Jack Davis could have drawn that one.
Look, and the overdone hand on the shield as well. That's bonkers.
If you look at the boots where he folds them over, it's really flapping in the wind by Joe Sinnott.
Yeah.
But on the next one, the next one's Giacoya, and it's really sort of stiff. His boots are stiff.
But it's so graphic. I love that right hand page. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. Great pose. Classic.
Hello.
Wow.
So legend lived again. If the past be not dead.
If you look at the guy, the Sid Shores, the one with the boot, the guy behind, the green guy, the bad guy, that cover or that image looks like it could be sort of from Eerie, doesn't it? That kind of spooky horror.
Yeah.
Thing,
Yep.
Who's the guy firing the gun at him? Is he one of the army of assassins?
It looks like Hate Monger almost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Captain America's my favorite superhero. I think he's great. Absolutely brilliant.
I think Captain America is like a proper superhero. As in, he's not mega overpowered.
Yeah.
But he's obviously a lot stronger than any single person. So that he's still got weaknesses. And so he has to use his brain rather than his brawn. And he embodies, the idea is that he embodies justice.
Yeah.
So he does the good things that Superman does in a character, except he's far more vulnerable, and it
Yeah.
makes
Well,
him,
and
I think more. I think you're more relevant to any person than Superman is.
and
That's
again,
personal. That's personal.
Superman's popularity really sprung up when he was a lot less powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
His following seems to drop the more godlike he becomes.
Yeah.
You know,
But like Captain America is in that mold of superhero, like Spider-Man.
mm-hmm.
Okay, stronger than people, and actually can be very strong, but has weaknesses, character weaknesses, physical weaknesses.
Right.
He's not the strongest there is. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why these characters they resonate. Captain Britain was the same. He had magical powers and he was strong and he could fly in the end and stuff, but he still wasn't like strong to the point of Superman or Thor strong. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why you had to really take Thor in that kind of sort of science fiction route or whatever, so that he could actually be against powerful beings and make him less powerful. When Thor's like super powerful, you put him up against Hulk, but when he's up against Galactus, he's not going to be able to do it on his own. So that's that. You've got to get that relativity between heroes, and that's where some of it's kind of gone awry nowadays. Is that everybody's just become too powerful?
Mm-hmm.
It's all like overpowered. Everybody's overpowered.
Yeah.
I agree.
That they get a lot of people get the wrong idea about superheroes. It's not that they're mega overpowered beings. It's that they're extraordinary beings that still have relatable characters. That's what makes them, fun to read.
Exactly.
Well, I got to talk one time with Elliot Magan, who wrote like a bunch of Superman stories in the 70s and early 80s.
During the Kurt Swan era. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And wrote some of the best ones, too, I think. But I asked him one time, I said, you hear about how hard it is to write a character like Superman, who's so powerful. How do you create challenges for him? He said he's the simplest character in the world to write for. That all you have to keep in mind is here is a person who is really, really good. And you give them a menace. How does somebody who is really, really good handle that?
Mm-hmm.
And you can say the same thing about Cap. He doesn't believe in killing per se. He wants to stop the bad guy, but he knows that if he doesn't try to do it, no one else might, and that's what makes him heroic.
Yeah, it's doing the right thing. That's always what as you say, I don't quite understand Superman myself, and especially since he's been so totally overpowered. But I can appreciate the driving forces behind him. So he's still an entertaining character. And it's those things that you're talking about. Why these heroes do what they do, and that's quite often ignored nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Now the X-Men.
Oh.
Here's that Paul Reinman again, who's ruining it all.
I never minded Reinman on him. I actually kind of liked him. It was kind of like a balance, to me, is like a balance between Joe Simon and Frank Giacoia.
Mm-hmm.
Again, early work, not quite the sort of the bombastic blockiness that he got to.
Now, I never knew the X-Men existed until I saw the Captain America cartoon that had all of the different Marvel characters in it. And the X-Men were there, and I'm like, who the hell are those?
Right.
Those guys.
Yeah.
Never seen new guys before. But they quickly became my favorite team, especially at the point where I was reading. There wasn't an X-Men comic per se. They started the reprints back up
Oh yeah.
on the numbering, and that was interesting. They crossed them over with Captain America with Xavier, Marvel Girl, and Cyclops, if I remember right. It wasn't even the whole
Right.
team.
Right.
And they ran on the bottom. You want to see more X-Men? Well, because we can show you more X-Men. And they had all those reprints running, those Werner Roth reprints. Loved the story. Didn't care much for the art. But
Roth is more of a Western or romance
yeah,
artist, and a little bit of horror. He was better for quieter kinds of books. He did a run on Lois Lane right after Mort Weisinger left. That was really pretty nice.
yeah.
I like
Oh,
that
and
Iceman
when
there
Giant
is,
Size. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I like that Iceman there is quite sort of pedestrian. He's just sliding along the floor.
Yeah, Snowman.
He's
Well,
not.
there's that.
He's not doing anything crazy. It's just I'm going to put some ice down here. I'm going to skid along it because I've forgotten my pants and I've only got my boots on. Am I having one of those dreams? Did I eat cheese? What's going on here?
And there's that classic drawing of the angel that used to appear over the logo later.
Oh
Yeah.
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 And I'm looking at the Beast galloping like he's a character in an old Warner Brothers cartoon.
Yeah.
Ba-dum.
Yeah. Oh, and there's that Magneto close up on the eyes that Roy Lichtenstein ripped off.
Yeah.
Yeah, ripped off. That's the word you use. Ripped off.
Yep.
Roy Lichtenstein going around getting all the plaudits of all the snobby art critics
Yeah.
while they look down
God,
their nose
yeah.
at comics. It's like
Yeah.
hideous. Says everything you need to know about the art scene.
Yep. It's ridiculous. Scarlet Witch.
It's like
I
Russ
don't
was
know.
saying earlier, these are comics, aren't they? They're powerful and they're exciting and it makes you want to read it.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Well, and also look at that cover up in the upper left of the screen there. You know, it's something I've been railing about in the last few years, that comic book covers really don't give me much incentive to purchase them.
I know.
I
I've
don't
been
get
having
that
this
sense
discussion.
of menace. I don't get
No.
that sense of why I should buy that book to find out why this weird situation is happening. They're more
I've got-
pinups now.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
having this discussion with people over the past few years. It's like all props to the fantastic artists that are on front covers. They draw amazing illustrations.
Yes.
But I'm sorry, they're not comic book artists. Until you do sequential art, until you tell a story, you're not a sequential artist in my view.
Agreed.
And I want to see a story on the front cover. I want to see some kind of expression of what's
Yes.
going on. I don't
Mhm.
want to see a lovely illustration, as nice as they are, and props to the abilities and skills of those people.
Mhm.
I want to see a comic book cover. And I know it's old
Yeah.
school, and I know people don't like it, but that's the way I see it, because comics are what they are.
Yeah.
You know.
I quite agree. I see the all the artwork now. It's just a set of, like Brian said, they're all posing, but they're not together.
Mhm.
Those people on that cover, X-Men and the Evil Mutants, they're all together in that room doing that. But now
Yeah.
they would be individually drawn, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, they'd all be posed and
They'd all be
yeah,
posed
yeah.
and ripped and looking gorgeous and fantastic.
It's,
And
it's not all
you know.
covers. It's not. I mean, you have a look at some of Dave Brink's covers for Perfect 10. They're quite old school.
Cool.
I mean, most of the stuff that I do now is graphic novel size. I don't do like the floppies anymore. Very rarely. So the covers you do for a graphic novel is slightly different. But even then, you don't just want it to be a pose. Do you know what I mean? You want it to express something that's going on with a scene maybe, or just the general feel of what's going on inside the book.
Yeah, it should get the reader excited and get them asking why, and the answers are only in this book. And that's why when I was old enough to buy something like this off the stands, I'd be checking under the sofa to find pocket change to make sure I could get these issues.
But I mean, a perfect example, I think, of fantastic art that all it is creating a feel of the essence of what you're going to get in a book is the painted art on Savage Sword of Conan black and white magazines. Because quite often the art on the front didn't depict anything that was going on inside, but it was Conan with a monster or a beautiful woman or whatever it might be. And you knew from that front cover what you were going to get inside. You knew what you were going to get, and it exuded the whole essence of the book. And I think that's what it is, and that's what people are missing. Is sometimes they'll put a beautiful illustration on the front, but it's not giving you the vibe. Do you know what I mean? It's not reaching out to you.
True.
Mm.
I think the whole science of cover construction kind of mutated after the direct market came in because they weren't that concerned about being seen from the newsstand.
Exactly. Yeah. The whole science of it changed. Yeah.
Yeah. The bright colors, the big logo, there's a reason why all of those Archie covers have those big blocks of color up on top, and that's to be seen from the spiral rack. And that kind of went away with the flat racks in the direct market.
Mm-hmm. There you go, Glenn. What you were saying about the X-Men logo? It's on that cover, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pinups.
Look at that. Look at that beast pinup. How good is that?
Yeah.
That's lovely.
It's all it all just screams fun, fun and entertainment.
Yeah.
That beast drawing again is using the buildings to give the dynamics of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or more so because if you took away the buildings and you could be looking down on him.
Yeah, he could be pressing the washing line up in the air, couldn't he?
That's right. Yeah.
It's true.
And a slight curvature on the earth for
the
angel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not, but
it must be high up. I think it was Gemini 5 first saw that from orbit, 650 miles up.
Look at the domesticality of Marvel Girl here too. She's cleaning.
Yeah.
I was just laughing there. It just says no wonder they call her
powers.
Yeah. No wonder they call her Marvel Girl. Look at what she's doing. She's lifting up a vase of flowers.
Wow! As she prepares to heroically sweep the floor.
Yeah. Let's
dust this table.
Let's put her up against Galactus and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, it depends if it's a dusting contest or not.
Dusted, he'll make the Earth dust.
I don't think Galactus has got much skills when it comes to dusting.
Yeah, that's because he gets someone to do it for him.
That's
what he's got all those heralds for.
The old Silver Surfer comes in and puts his finger through the dust on the control panel and look at the muck in here.
You can imagine him with a little I don't know what you call it. A little I don't know what you call it. What do you call it?
Feather duster?
No, what they put on, like maids wear.
Oh.
Oh yeah, there we go.
You went there. You went for the pinny. You went for the maid's pinny.
That's it.
And somewhere somebody has just heard Glenn and is running to their drawing board to put the Silver Surfer in a French maid's outfit.
Yeah, and
you
get Alicia come in and say, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Oh, it don't matter, because she can't see."
It's like, I'm not doing anything. No. I haven't dressed up in this outfit at all.
It makes me feel pretty.
Well, she says, "Have you seen my penny? My penny?" No.
I love the way the Beast is moving in that top left panel there.
Yeah.
No, top left. There, yeah. The way he's coming forward. You can see that he's using all 4 limbs to walk forward. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Cyclops. Look at those red glows under the visor.
Poor Professor X looks really, really cold.
He does, isn't it? A bit chilly out there.
Yeah.
It's like
Standing next to Iceman. That's why he's
Iceman's
cold.
standing next to him, and the Angel has just his wings have just blown the breeze over his back, and he's like, "Oh, I'm freezing." So what Marvel Girl has done is she's floated in from her dusting and sort of put the blanket on his back.
Yeah.
And in the panel we don't see the panel we don't see Cyclops warming him up with his beams. Anyway, this is wonderful.
Isn't it? It's gorgeous stuff.
It is.
There's some nice thick lines going on here again.
Yeah.
Danger room action here.
That guy coming in the bottom of when Marvel Girls doing that machine, he should be going, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
It should be Reed Richards. It's great, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And the first ever AVX.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're right.
Recycling those ideas. I like Professor X's new wheelchair though. That is super cool. Look at that.
That's
industrial.
That's like from that previous one where he was cold in the other drawing. That was the Adam West mobile, and now this one's the latest one, the armored car.
That armored car and the machinery doesn't look particularly Kirby-esque.
It looks Ditko to me. Look at that shading under between the boxes on the bottom. It looks like Ditko.
It's got an almost Mobius feel about it.
Yeah.
I was thinking Joe Maneely with the lack of like black spaces in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but John Mulaney was dead by this point, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, so.
But if you look at the villain there, Lucifer, that's classic Chickstone with that thick line around it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wondering if Kirby's just flicked it in, and somebody else has put the detail in.
I think Ditko's put his pens on that.
I don't know.
Still a good cover though, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I like these. Used to like these double cover things. These do them on a Tale to Astonish and Suspense, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Chick Stone here.
Yeah. Fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love the confusion of power sets as well. So, like the point of Cyclops is he's got this power in his eyes, but there's nothing to say that he's super strong or anything.
No.
So if Captain America did get hold of him and managed to dodge he'd knock him out in one punch, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
It'd all be over.
I think Black Bolt is similar to Cyclops.
Yeah. He's only got, but then I suppose you could say because they're Inhumans, you don't know, they might be inherently multiple times stronger than an average human or something. I suppose you could say the same about
Yeah, Black Bolt's got heightened strength.
Does he? Because he can fly as well, can't he?
And he can fly, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the Marvel Girl doing on that cover?
Dusting
Iceman's wall.
She's moving. Well, I'm looking at the right-hand panel, that big fight scene, and what she's doing is she's lifting up the beast so she can vacuum under him.
Right. There you go.
Oh dear.
How to ruin your childhood.
Oh, I know. And why do I take such delight in it? That's the real.
I'll never be able to look at these the same again.
Can't unhear what Brian's saying.
I'll tell you what, Kirby did some of his best covers on X-Men, didn't he?
Oh, he
Great.
did. Those are
Yeah, some real dynamic stuff.
that left
Love-
one there, the
Yeah.
Juggernaut, where the angel is going back.
I was about to say, with Angel's position there is fantastic.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And that's another one, like what the last time we were together, we talked about that Fantastic Four cover with the Sentry.
Yeah,
That, you know, it created like a sense of mystery about the character because you couldn't see what they looked like full on, even though it was a very, especially for Kirby, non-dynamic cover, but it was beautifully designed.
Yeah.
I hope they show the Sentinels
Yeah.
cover where he's with the reach in that red cover where he's reaching over him,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which is actually flopped. You know,
Really?
that cover's flopped.
I didn't realize that.
And the Ditko Spider-Man with Molten Man, that's flopped as well.
Okay, I do remember that. Yeah.
And there's also a splash page by Kirby in Cap where it's flopped because they're doing the Hitler salute, but they're doing it with their left hand.
Oh,
So that's been flopped as well.
interesting. Interesting.
There we move to Sergeant Fury.
Oh, look at this. Decayers, is it? Yeah, Decayers.
Yeah.
This is the book that got me interested in war comics.
It's a classic cover.
Oh yeah.
That's Kirby.
That
I don't mean the
those
artist. I
panels,
mean that's
Yeah.
Kirby in the drawing.
yeah.
Look at that. The way he's throwing that grenade and that explosion behind him. I mean, this guy's seen this, hasn't he?
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's felt
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It's been there.
Yeah.
Love those panels there. Howling Commandos. That's just
Yeah.
awesome.
Isn't it? Just fantastic.
Rawr.
Wahoo!
Wahoo!
That's a great drawing, isn't it? But that's a cover, isn't it? Cover drawing.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Look at that bottom three panels there. But get rid of it. All right.
And that shows how good Kirby was at expressions.
Yeah.
You know,
Look at his,
doesn't-
look at his
There was
eyebrows.
something-
Get credit.
oh yeah. Oh man.
And he's got his dog tags on as well. It's fantastic.
German.
All right.
Look at
I
him.
get the message.
Look at him with his scar and his monocle and his cigarette holder.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? Look how really in shape and he really cut there, isn't he?
I watched them play football the other night. They all look like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame they can't kick a ball too well.
The Germans. The Germans.
The Germans, yeah.
The Germans, they bombed our chip shop.
Yeah.
Fangs of the Desert Fox.
Look at that. Floating heads. We love them.
Yes. Floating head.
Oh, Captain
Look at
America
that.
and Bucky.
That was
Look
one of
at
the best
that.
issues there.
Just amazing.
Wonderful colouring there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's this. What they're watching it on the pictures, aren't they?
Yeah. Brilliant.
It's fantastic.
Again, testing the waters to see if Captain America would be viable.
Mm-hmm.
That story.
Is that how rich that is? That sort of coming out of World War II and then getting the whole shield thing going and
Yeah.
beautiful, wonderful, wonderful work.
Wow.
Witch Tales, Nick Fury.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that really, I suppose it's really why series should end. It's why you should have an end point. I mean, you know, while comics were selling, it's great, but there comes a point where you can't transfer those ideas. Do you know what I mean? You have to start again.
Yeah.
Even if it's like, I don't know, like a sort of the way that DC kind of creates a new world with all the same characters, just with a different, slightly different story to them, and says, right, okay, this is the canon now. Even if you reset it, there comes a point where characters that were doing whatever they were doing in 1965 can't be doing the same thing in 2005. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that block there, it talks about the effects that Kirby would do on screen would cost Mega Millions. If you go to the Arrow website, I've done a blog about it and mentioned stuff like that. Just for everybody out there.
The Arrow website?
Yeah, Arrow Comics website.
What?
Arrowcomics.store?
Yeah, sorry.
Arrowcomics.store.
Yeah, sorry, .store, yeah.
We're expanding the store site out to have more content. Luke's got a subscription service going over there where we're offering a digital comic every month. And then you get access to the Arrow library, which is constantly having more stuff added to it.
Nice.
Not necessarily even things you can get in hard copy. So there's always been a couple of issues of Spank the Monkey over there that I've colored that there are no hard copies of, in color at least, that are available over there at the store.
Nice.
Or Shield.
So that's so your piece is in the members area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's just it also it serves as a prepping ground for the newspaper that we're working towards as well.
Yeah.
There'll be printed content out there available for the retailers for independent comics. Folks out there, if you're enjoying this show, hit that like button. We see you out there already and deeply appreciate you. The chat is also live, at least for another 25 minutes. So
it's great. The way they produce a menace as well. You got Fury in that, being molded for LMD. And look at the guy at the bottom. He's saying, "Don't move, Fury. Don't even breathe. The slightest error can cause your death." So you think, "Oof, this is pretty serious." He's not just having a laugh, but he is still chomping on his cigar while he does it.
Yeah.
With his nice underpants on.
Well, they're just molding his backside right now. So. They thought Captain America had America's ass.
Buns of iron.
Buns of steel.
There you go.
It's the first look at the Hydra divisional staff. Later on in a Daredevil, they assign supervillains to each department. So,
have you seen those? I guess the Navy guys, U.S. Navy guys, on those with those like Iron Man hands where they're flying around the aircraft carrier. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Oh, good! It's fantastic. And it's just these guys, isn't it? Mind you, these have got the James Bond type of thing on, but that's the same thing, isn't it? And this is what 1965.
See, I found that fun about the whole Shield thing. It was like James Bond in that way.
Yeah.
Especially at the end when you had like big armies of like Shield operatives would come in. They'd be fighting like Hydras or AIM or the whoever the Yellow Claw was telling to fight for him. Or it was just bonkers. Great fun.
Yeah, it's a cross between Bond and the Man from U.N.C.L.E., isn't it?
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. Yeah, with a bit of superhero action thrown in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great ink in there by Joe Sinnott on that cover.
Mm-hmm.
These Hydra guys are on square skateboards.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at them wandering around there. Whiz. Look at us go.
Mhm.
I'm just going to pop a bad boy here.
And
Pop a go.
that
What, should we do a
weapon
turnpike?
Go ahead, Glenn.
that weapon that the shield guys are holding, I don't know why, but even back then it gave me sort of Roman vibes to where they where the Romans moved forward with the shields and everything.
Yeah.
And they're like a giant turtle type of thing, and all the arrows hit the top and all that kind of. It just reminded me of that, the way they're obviously all moving forward.
Well, they've all got around the outside. They're kind of gripping the whole weapon, aren't they? And then the people on the inside have got that kind of shit. Except that one guy with a club. How's he going to reach anyone with that club?
Well, he's going to throw it.
He's going to throw it. Get out!
And when we're done, we can go bowling.
I just noticed something. Nick Fury's weapon. I see how it's aligned, but am I wrong in that the fire is kind of like listing to starboard on there?
I was just going to say that, Brian. If you notice, if you look, if you look at Fury's, look at the guy at the left. His is doing the same. I think what it is, if you look, I was going to say this before. What it is especially in the Howling Commandos, when he's firing the machine gun or anybody's firing, there's always that, and I think it's because he's moving it.
Yeah,
he's spraying it. Do you see what I mean? So the line, isn't going. That's like the previous round, if you understand what I mean. He's about to fire. That's what I get from it.
And he's shooting this. He's shooting this poor guy off camera. All you can see is his hand.
Yeah. Creates some movement.
Like,
that's right. Yeah.
Because instantly, what you'd always draw is you'd draw the line coming straight out of the barrel, and you draw a line through the gun so that you knew it was straight. But if there's some kind of movement where you're sweeping the gun across, then you will kind of just catch it slightly bent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he's doing, I think.
Yeah, it's created that movement. That's why he's a genius.
Yeah. Well, then again, he's seen that, hasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, look at that. I can't remember where I saw it. I saw a what if tale. And the starting point of it was just a few panels where it said, basically back in the what is it? I've forgotten my words now because I've got no brain. It was Da Vinci. That's it. Back with Da Vinci. That's exactly what my brain was doing then. Da Vinci's inventions and the stuff that he came up with, they kind of the government of the day got behind it, and then it was suggesting that like we got to the moon really quick. Not straight away, obviously, but basically all our inventions and our advancements were pulled back 100 or 200 years, and what they had Nick Fury on the moon fighting the Nazis in World War II. And it was like it just stuck in. It's always stuck in my head, and it's just a few panels because it was all it was doing was just laying the grounds for the world that they lived in, so that they could go on and tell the what if story. But that always stuck in my head. It was just so fantastic, and it made these few meandering panels about what if we'd have done this, what if we'd have done that, and then you have this World War II going off on the moon. It was fantastic. That's the kind of imaginative stuff stuff that you just really appreciate.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I'll tell you something that's quite interesting there. If you look at the right hand, who strikes at shield. Right,
yeah,
and it says Mickey Demio Inca, and Mickey Demio was Mike Esposito,
right?
And if you look left, it says Inks Mike Esposito.
Mm-hmm.
So they've sort of corrected it on the text, but it would be confusing if you didn't know that, because it's Mickey Demio, and that's one of his names he used because he was working at DC, and all that sort of stuff. Like Gene Colan was, what was Gene Colan, Brian?
Adam Austin.
Adam Austin, yeah.
When would
Jack Abel was Gary Michaels.
Yeah, like you look at Gene Colan and not realize because he had such a distinctive style, you know.
When would these books have been? Is this like 70s?
No, 65, 66.
Late 60s.
Yeah.
So
Mid
just
60s.
the way they're going, look out 007, here comes. You know, it's so obviously getting off the back of what early 60s would have been Dr. No and
Dr. No and From Russia with Love,
From Russia with Love,
and then Thunderball.
Yeah.
So
fantastic movies.
Fantastic comics. Look at that guy. He's like the guy at Forbidden Planet, isn't he?
Love the way up the top left, the way they've got him. He's looking over the shoulder and making the robot work. He knew how it worked.
Yeah.
Unlike Kirby, where a lot of the time he'd kind of make machinery up from one panel to the next.
Yeah.
There's a definite continuity between the two images there.
Submariner.
Woohoo!
Submariner.
Now that Submariner, that prince with that poster there, always makes me. I can't work out what he's doing with his legs. It's almost as if it's almost as if his left leg was his right leg, but there was a bit of a bulge in the new bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh,
way out of proportion
that's
here.
Messing me up.
And here too, the arms are also out of proportion.
Yeah.
That's messing me up. That is.
Yeah, there was an arm on the blob a few pages earlier that was just like distended.
Yeah. But I like the way he bulked him up because he was quite skinny, wasn't he, to start with? Especially when Bill Everett was doing it, and then he all of a sudden he bulked up into the godlike musculature.
That's one amazing way to get a shave and a haircut.
Yeah. And look at Johnny. He looks about 7. He looks like he's 7 years old, doesn't he? That's right.
Yeah.
He's just a wee boy. He's at a school night. What's going on?
Brilliant.
He
should say he should get his shaving him. Then it should say it's Mr. Spock.
Yeah.
But this is 4 years before Mr. Spock.
Yeah.
Just as a point, you know, like where you used to go and look things up when you read comics as a kid, back in the day when people actually looked at books and things, and you went and checked a word out because you couldn't understand the word, so you read it in a comic and then you went and looked it up in a dictionary.
Oh yeah.
And just the name Submariner. When I first saw that name as a child, I was like, "What the hell is that? What does that mean?" I didn't realise what the meaning was behind the name. I don't understand that. And it made me go and find out what it meant. There's so much good stuff in these comics that people don't appreciate how good they are educationally. And it's not in there.
Like some of us have good vocabularies.
Yeah.
It is, exactly, yeah. And it's not in there as education. It's just done well.
Yeah.
It's thoughtful. It's not talking down. Like, it annoys me when you hear people say kids comics, and so often kids comics are just really dumbed down.
Yeah,
and that's not the way you should be talking to kids. You should be, you know, because all the time kids want to go up to the next level, don't they? They're always after growing up. Okay, the youth is wasted on the young. All right, but that's what you like when you're a kid. You want to see what the person that's a year older than you is reading or whatever, and so you should never talk down to them. Do you know, like?
Right.
And that was what was great about it. That's what made these comics all ages. Because they didn't talk down to anybody, and they left out the extremes, as it were. Most of the time.
You see where Doom's talking to Namor there, and he's trying to convince him. At the end of that little sequence there, that 3 panels, at the end, Dr. Doom should say, "Listen, you're almost as handsome as I am. I'll get you a mask." Never mind that little scratch on your nose. Get a mask.
I think he's leaning over and going, "You smell fine."
And yes, I am pleased to see you.
Yeah. something pokes in the back of the avenging sun.
That's right, yeah. What's he doing there? What's he riding those turtles? What's all that about? I thought he could. And why has he got a cloak on underwater? It'd be wrapped. It'd be too. He wouldn't be floating like that. Would he?
Where's he got
Royal
Coconut
cloak.
Oscar?
Yeah.
And everybody else is swimming, and he's looking like he's flying along with Arzak.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's one of the best stories ever.
Yeah. I mean, what a statement.
Yeah.
Right. The Fabulous Fantastic Four present Submariner versus the human race. I mean,
Yeah, that kind of sets the odds up right there.
Mhm.
you've got to read it. It's just, I mean, look at that crazy. I don't know what it is. That crazy weapon that guy with the trumpet's got. Look at the design of the blade. I mean, just put a blade on it. You know, look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's interesting, isn't it? Even with his fishnet stockings he's got on the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Canary called. She wants her pantyhose back.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
Fishnets, after all.
Oh!
Yeah.
Randy will be here all week.
Look at that.
Oh, my God. What panorama.
I was saying before, you know, about took me a while to get to appreciate Dick Ayers, but this is just superb, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely incredible.
He doesn't get enough credit for being a really sympathetic inker to Kirby.
Yeah, but look, you've seen Sky Masters, haven't you? His work on Sky Masters is fantastic.
It is.
I mean, to follow Wally Wood as well, he did a bloody good job.
Oh, he did.
That's gorgeous.
Couple more classic covers here.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, look at that.
It's a great shot.
I like the way that I know it's not related, but I like the way the cover is got Namor in prison and then the Hulk breaking out of his bit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's fantastic. And it's like he's drawn Namor in the cage, and it's like, how can I make it more interesting? I'll just put some smoke going across it. That'll make it look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, why the hell not?
Got to show it's underwater.
I know. Just great the way he does it. It's just absolutely brilliant. And then bam, the Hulk comes through the wall. Doof,
Rawr.
with his purple pants on again.
Hulk smash.
Silver Surfer. Classic cover again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And a
Nice.
classic splash page. It's just great.
Yeah. That's incredible, isn't it?
Yep.
I'll tell you the story of that Fantastic Four 55, didn't I? I'd be 12 or 13 when that came out, and I didn't have a lot of money, and I went to the shop and I saw that, and I didn't have any money to buy it, so it was on the spinner rack, so I put it at the bottom. I took it and put it at the bottom at the back of a pile in the spinner rack, and I had to wait for till the end of the week, about 4 days to go back, and I was convinced it wasn't going to be there, but it was. There it was. So I hid it away from everybody else. I could have just asked the guy to save it for me, but you don't think of those things when you're 12, do you?
No. And the clerk would have probably thought you were crazy anyway.
Yeah.
Save this kid. It's a dime. Go on. Put that back in the rack. It's one of the things that prompted me to help out the drugstores, that I got to open the new comics. So you didn't have to worry about that. There was a whole group of us there, and we knew who read Spider-Man, who read Captain America, and just handed them off to them.
There you go. Training for a comic shop.
Exactly. Lots of ducks.
Wow, look at that. Black Bolt. That's a great panel at the top. It's like you're almost on the board with him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Movement.
He does not halt.
Just the start of his angst here.
Yeah.
There, that's a great shot. Says a lot.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen the Savage Silver Surfer continue. I think that would have been interesting to read.
Yeah, this was the last episode. This was the last issue, wasn't it? It left after this, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's when he's got that great screaming, about the injustice and everything. I think it's a very personal page, that.
Oh, yeah.
That was my big introduction to the Inhumans here, too, as I was a kid. I remember sneaking out on vacation, going into the convenience store and sitting on the wooden floor and reading this book because I knew I couldn't buy it. Folks wouldn't let me have superheroes at the time.
Right.
But I sat and read this book because it was so weird looking. All the characters are so unusual. It's just crazy good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And great inking by Herb Trimpe as well.
Yeah.
He did a good job, yeah. And I always play in my mind, what if Kirby had stayed with Marvel in 1977? I have a feeling this would have been one of the books that Stan might have said, okay, Jack, you can write this.
I don't know about that.
I would disagree with that because I think that was the point of him. One of the points of him leaving.
That, and I think
could be.
I think Lee's ego was seeing this as an opportunity, as Silver Surfer, as a character he could actually write.
Mm-hmm.
With all of the Shakespearean, personal dialogue working in here.
Oh yeah.
I think Lee would have had a rough time passing that character on.
Yeah, especially to the co-creator or the creator of him.
Yeah, the thing though, the mistake Marvel made was not letting Kirby do the Inhumans book.
Yeah,
agreed.
Because he was making catalogs of characters that he ended up using for, one or two pantheons afterwards. All of the New Gods and the some of the Inhumans, Eternals come out of that during this period because Kirby was so excited that it looked like he was going to be able to do an Inhumans book.
Oh yeah.
Well, they put the Inhumans in the back of Thor, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was going to be its own book.
And they split it with Black Widow and Amazing Adventures when it first started.
Right.
Didn't they? Then they put Dr. Doom in.
It started the origin of the Inhumans started in they took out Tales of Asgard and put it in the back of Thor. And that was going to be the launch of the Inhumans book. And then when they finally got around to letting Kirby get on with it, they put it in with that the other book that you say in 1970, I think, just before he left.
Mm-hmm. Kazar.
Great, that, isn't it?
Another classic cover.
Oh yeah.
How close are we to finishing?
Oh, we still have. We're just up to Kazar at this point. We still have all.
Have we got another episode?
Oh yeah, we got another episode to go.
5-2 now.
Yep. Let's get past Kazar here.
Come on, look at
Craven.
That. Now, Sam Granger did a great job on this inking, and it's a shame he didn't do more. I don't know how many issues. I don't know how many issues he did, but I bet it wasn't more than 2 or 3.
Yeah, love it.
But Granger was also a good one on Sal Buscema too, on his first Avengers.
Sam Granger to me is another underrated inker.
Oh yeah.
Look at that drawing there on the left of the Craven and that inking on it. Those fingers. We said this before, and it's obviously very true. The greatest inkers don't eliminate the penciler.
Right.
Charles is in the house. Johnny Storm knew Subby from the Golden Age, but didn't recognize that he had become a modern version of the Torch. Yeah. Yep, and we'll stop it there.
Yeah,
go ahead, Glenn.
No, I'm just going to say a classic drawing of the Inhumans coming at you, but that's a good place to stop.
But we'll look at that next week.
That's good.
Beautiful. Sam Granger's so good,
Yeah. And I always hated Craven the Hunter. I was glad to see Kazar whoop him. Well, Craven was always one of those, Spider-Man. Here, I have injected you with venom. I have used poison gas against you, and now I've dropped a building on you. Wait a minute, you're getting up? How unfair of you! You're no sportsman.
Die.
Yeah.
We've been looking at the Marvel legacy of Jack Kirby. And just got...
wasn't this originally going to be a maximum 2 episodes? I'm really glad we're going into a 4th, because I just look at this stuff forever.
I figured it'd be 1. But, whenever I pull something out thinking it'll be 1 episode, it turns into 4 or 5. So, yeah.
And then I show up and start talking. Oh, God.
That's all right.
Vaccinated with a phonograph needle.
Next time, folks, the Inhumans. Maybe we'll actually work our way up to the Eternals. Never know.
Live for hope.
Sooner or later. More next week,
yeah.
folks. Thanks so much for stopping by. Deeply appreciate you being here. We know the majority of our audience is after the fact. We love you there, too. Even though you can't contribute live to the chat, we deeply appreciate an audience. If you enjoy this program, tell your friends. And we love doing this. We love showing this artwork off because it's, part of our childhood, our nostalgia, and it's what we love. And it's what it really inspired us to get into this crazy business. So we're glad you're here for the ride. Brian, tell folks how they can find you.
RisingTide.pub. Also, my stuff is available on Amazon and any decent bookseller online. Be sure to check out my latest works, The Quest for the Delphi Oculus from Flinch Books, and from Rising Tide Publications, The Terrors. And a sequel is in the works and all kinds of spin-offs. So thanks for having me, Randy, and it was good to be with the guys again.
You're always welcome on whenever you can get here, Brian.
Thank you.
Deeply appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me over at russleach.com. Sign up for the email list so I can tell everybody what's coming up next. Retail versions of this little beauty will be coming soon once the backers have their version, their special version. And then there will be an artisan version on the way. Look out for that. The only way to keep up with all that information about whether Only Death Can Save Us is coming back or not, more of this, Atlantean, and all the other fine stuff we have coming from Arrow Comics. Get on the email list, russleach.com. Sign up for the email list. You won't be sorry.
There you go. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
On these podcasts on Friday and Sundays, and Thursday on the Luke Stone's show. You can find my work on Amazon. I've got 11 books out there, different genres, as I think they call it, different subjects. Yeah, just put my name in Google and you'll find it. You also find me in there, so check it out. Another reason to get a big copy of that. But yeah, just all over the place really. Just put my name in the search engine, and I'm sure something will appear.
Yeah. That's Glenn with 2 N's and Fleming with 1 M.
Certainly is.
Yep. Folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my work over at arrowcomics.store. You can find such works as let's see here. Not that one. Yeah, HeroBot Zero. It's a nice cartoon robot, lighthearted, fun stuff. Paragon, which is a superhero story. We talked about Superman earlier. This is kind of my version of the of Superman. What if a superpowered character suddenly popped in that could leap tall buildings in a single bound, and only a bursting shell can penetrate their skin. So, also, Calico Shard, great fantasy title with fantastic artwork by C. Michael Lanning. And even The Fool, which is kind of my rodeo clown of justice. Right there, guy who fights urban street crime with practical joke weapons and a dumb sense of luck. Folks, we want to thank you again for stopping by. Again, we show this stuff off because we love it. And if there's anything out there that you want us to take a look at, feel free to drop us a line. Add a comment on whatever social platform you catch us on, Facebook, YouTube, wherever. Who knows where we'll be next. So Go over there and check us out. We are archived over at the Indie Comics Network, over at the Comic Book Black Belt YouTube channel, and at the Randy Zim YouTube channel. And please, wherever you watch us from, leave a like, leave a note, subscribe if you can, whatever site or platform that you catch us on. Any interaction with the site just helps our numbers and our algorithm. Sunday morning, we're going to be taking a look at an oddball DC special issue featuring Plastic Man and the genius of Jack Cole. And if you're not familiar with how great Plastic Man was and the great genius of Jack Cole, make sure you stop by Sunday. This book has got some phenomenal stories in it by an incredibly unique genius, in my opinion, one of the best as when it comes to composition and just imagination. And who'd have thought the stuff he does with Plastic Man is just absolutely crazy. That's going to be on Sunday Funnies, 9 a.m. this Sunday. So make sure you stop by. Next week, more Kirby, more Marvel Kirby, just classic stuff, folks.
Yep, keep it coming.
And again, catch us on our archives. There's all sorts of George Gaddis is in the house. Greetings, all.
Hey, George.
There, Blue Caesar. Levi says great art and fun discussion. Thank you all. Thanks for stopping by, Levi. We appreciate everybody watching us. Folks, go check out your local retailer as well. Take a look at those boxes that might have a little dust on them, maybe closer to the floor. There's so much great material out there. You don't have to read the modern stuff in order to enjoy comics. There's so much classic material. Hold that up again.
Captain Britain.
That's great stuff like Captain Britain.
Yeah.
Is that Larry Lieber, Ross?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Look at that. Reprints of Fantastic Four in black
Just
and white.
great material.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's just so much stuff out there. This, like, I'm reading these on holiday.
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna blow that up again.
Ooh, yeah.
I know, it's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, those Savage Sword volumes are great.
Gorgeous.
No, fantastic. It's just so much out there. Go buy it. There's so much. Read.
Great stuff, folks. And if you get a chance, if you love comics, tell people you love comics. Tell people what comics that you love reading. Don't be afraid to spread the love out there. There's so much trolling and hatred and drama and stupidity out there on these somewhat so-called social platforms. That we need as much positivity as we can get our hands on. That's why we love doing this show. So, and we really want to thank you again for stopping by. You'll see us again Sunday, and then the following Friday again, we'll be back here at 5 a.m. Showing off more comics, showing off more Kirby. So in the meantime, go out there and buy alternative and independent comics, especially ours. There's so much great stuff to be found. Go over to fundmycomic.com. Take a look at that site and some of those campaigns that are over there. Just an incredible variety of stuff. Some really quality work by some incredible people over there. Lots of stuff to be seen. Make sure you swing by aerocomics.store and take a look at all of the offerings over there. Subscribe. We have a subscription service over there for as little as $5 a month. You can have access to our digital library, our ever-growing digital library, I should add. And I'm way behind getting a bunch of stuff to Luke for him to add to that site as well.
Wasn't Luke on the Pop XP channel? Was he on there
Pardon?
last night? I don't know. The Pop XP with Niall
I'm
Scarlett
not sure.
and Billy Tucci. I think
Maybe.
he might have been on there, like talking about Fund My Comic.
Fund My Comic?
last night. I'm not sure. So if you do
Cool.
get a chance, that's a great channel, by the way.
It is.
Niall
It
Scarlett,
is.
Pop XP, brilliant channel.
Yep.
Go check that out, especially if you've got Fund My Comic on there. That's where everybody should be going to fund their comics. The clue is in the title. There you go.
And folks, like I said, spread the love, hating and creating. We'll see you soon. Take care,
See ya.
everyone. Thanks again
Thanks
for
for
coming
coming
by, stopping by. Appreciate you greatly. See you then. He said scrolling.
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 Here we are.
Dennis Quaid, and Dennis Quaid has seen some shit.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face. Buttered sausage. It's not my jam. I don't buy jam. I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.